Today we're going to talk about the best diet for PCOS and the best diet tips for PCOS. Hi, I'm Deborah Maragopoulos, Intuitive Integrative Family Nurse Practitioner. I'm an expert in hormones, and I've helped many PCOS patients actually get their symptoms under control as well as get pregnant using dietary methods. So the first thing I want you to understand is that PCOS is a metabolic syndrome causing insulin resistance. So the dietary tips are all related to insulin resistant diets. Number one, the foods to avoid. Absolutely, you must avoid sugar in all forms, sugars and starches. When you decrease those levels of sugars and starches in your diet, and you're mostly eating proteins and fats and vegetables, you're going to see a huge difference in your insulin sensitivity, which will start to control your PCOS symptoms. Sugars in the form of baked goods, candies, any kind of sweetened drinks, starches in the form of flour, rice, potatoes, breads, pastas, those are the foods you need to avoid. There are a lot of other alternatives. We're basically talking about an insulin-resistant diet. That's number two. What does that look like? Well, your breakfast is going to be rich in proteins, let's say eggs. You can even have like plain yogurt. You can have some fruit, and you want to have some kind of vegetables if you're having eggs. Okay, make sure you're having some fat, maybe some avocado even. Your lunch, you want to make sure you're having protein, fat, and make sure your carbs are coming from vegetables, and maybe a salad with some protein on it, nuts and seeds, olive oil dressing for fat. You can have fish or chicken or meat for protein. Your dinner is going to be similar. Maybe the vegetables are cooked, roasted, or even sautéed. Makes a really good variety in vegetables along with proteins and fats. Avoiding those starches, avoiding those sugars, especially to get your insulin resistance down, which you can measure through your fasting blood glucose and your hemoglobin A1C, as well as basically how much fat you're pinching around your middle. That's called your insulin meter. That makes a huge difference in controlling your PCOS symptoms. Number three, it's not just what you eat, it's when you eat that counts. The best dietary tips for PCOS is if you can't avoid carbohydrates during the day, absolutely avoid them after dark. When you eat carbohydrates after dark, your body is just in storage mode. Unless you're running a marathon, and you shouldn't be doing that after dark, you're just going to store those extra carbohydrates into fat. All of those extra carbohydrates and that fat storage is going to increase your inflammatory markers, which is classic in PCOS. So avoiding carbohydrates, and those are your starchy carbohydrates like your pastas, your potatoes, your rice, your breads, and sugars, including your sweetened drinks and alcohol after dark, will make a huge difference in your PCOS symptoms. If you need to have some carbohydrates for energy, eat them for breakfast. That's the best time to eat your carbohydrates, like oats or some kind of whole grains or a whole grain toast, in order to get the energy you need for the day. Avoiding them after dark will make a huge difference in your PCOS symptoms. So remember, you're avoiding carbohydrates, you're following an insulin-resistant diet that is rich in protein and fat and vegetables, and you're especially avoiding those carbohydrates after dark. Thank you.